And
Do you know a silent treatment is the worst form of abuse? I've experienced it and I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if someone I don't condone hitting, I don't condone any kind of violence, right? But if someone is overt with their dislike of you, like they physically show it, you know, okay, this is where I stand with this person. But when someone is just hot and cold, they are just silent. They are maybe today, they are happy today, tomorrow, they're just like, hello, welcome to Life as You See It podcast with A and A. Welcome to another wonderful episode of our podcast. I have with me here
Amaka. Welcome.
Welcome to our podcast where we bring you entertaining, authentic, genuine conversations around love, faith, family, relationship, human interactions. We're glad to have you here. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. And if this is your first time, thank you and please subscribe.
Yes.
So we'll go straight to the topic today.
Yeah, what topic do we have?
Okay. So we're going to be talking about how to know who to marry.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Because this is like a love month, love season, Valentine's Day is coming up. So how to know who to marry? Wow, that sounds heavy, Sha, but we'll see.
I know, because if we all knew who to marry, we'll all be married. For instance, I'm not married yet, you know. But we have a married woman here on our set, Amaka. So she can give us tips, you know. We singles. How to identify the right man.
First of all, I want to say marriage is a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. It's an institution that was created by God. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's an important institution and it's beautiful when you marry the right person or somebody that kind of it's for you. Let's put it that way. Because it's just sweet. Let's basically put it. I think the Bible talks about it. It says one will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000. There's increase. There's more productivity with two people. There's another proverb that says, "Is it two good heads are better than one?" Yeah. So kind of knowing that is a beautiful thing because I think it's important to also have the mindset that marriage is a beautiful thing. And I know there's been so many stories, so many people's experiences that we've heard. And it's oh my God, what am I getting into? Is marriage going to work for me? Especially if you're from a home that you haven't really seen any great marriage.
Exactly.
So it's hard to kind of relate. But I'm here to say, by the grace of God, that marriage is beautiful. Start with that mindset first because you cannot have what you don't appreciate, right? You have to start and know that this is a beautiful thing and I want it for myself. Yeah. Basically.
So I agree with you. Thank you so much for, starting us off with that. So for marriage to work, it takes two people, right?
Yes.
Marriage is not like marriage. It's not just institution that is, it's two people. So what makes marriage beautiful? Does it have to do with the two people involved in that institution? Or is it just that, okay, yes, God says marriage is a beautiful thing and automatically it's beautiful?
So I think it's both. Okay. Right? The institution, the concept of marriage is beautiful. Mm-hmm. Knowing that there's a partnership, knowing that there's somebody that you can always come home with, there's that companionship, somebody that you get to do life with, right? Mm-hmm. Just that the idea of it is beautiful. Fantastic. It's fantastic. Now, much more important than the idea of it, because I know there's this big fizzy to wearing, I want to be Mrs. Mm-hmm. Much more important than that is the person you're getting married to. Does that person align with the picture of the marriage that you want, basically, right? So you have to, both of them are important. For example, I was listening to one, marriage minister, and he said it's something like this. When you're scrambling eggs, right, you fry them, you mix them together. If one egg is bad, no matter how good the other egg is, the scrambled egg, it's gonna spoil it. And I think that's how marriage is scrambled egg of two people, basically. So if one is not carrying the same weight as the other one, most times it will not really stand. It won't really work because it's an institution that the concept was based on two people.
So people working in partnership, in oneness.
That's why God talks about it. He says, can two walk together except they agree?
So if they don't agree,
right, they don't agree. If there's this alignment, misalignment in something, or one person is basically the person carrying that concept of marriage, then the other person is just doing bare or minimal work. It's not balanced. So most times it's either a struggle. If they don't get the help that they need, it's going to be a struggle and eventually it won't work out.
Yeah. So should it be a 50-50 thing? You come in with 50% of who you are and the other person comes with 50%? Or is it 100%? So whole person coming together.
I think whole to whole is better because you want to come in with your full self.
Yeah.
Another thing is that marriage is work. That's just the truth because you can't come into marriage. When I say marriage is a beautiful thing, it's true, it's beautiful, but marriage is also service and it's responsibility.
Yeah.
Like it's a form of service and it's a school. There are so many things I like in marriage too, so bear with me on my words. But marriage is service, is like responsibility. You have to go in with the concept that I'm going into work. I'm not going to enjoy. Person. Yes. Enjoyment will come. Enjoyment is a byproduct of it.
Okay.
Right? But your mindset is that I'm going to serve. It's like you're volunteering in church or you're volunteering in the community, right? As you volunteer, you're working. Right? But you can have fun because you're working with people that you're serving other people. You get that joy of fulfillment, but you're also working with people with same goals, like you people that are passionate about the same thing that you are passionate about, or about like if you love children, you are working with people that are also passionate. So then the fun comes in because you guys are chatting about it, you're talking about your experiences, and it becomes fun, right? But you're doing a service. What you're going to do is serving. What you're going to do is working.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not gonna go serve with the kids ministry and expect, oh my goodness, this is gonna be enjoyable, right? It's work because it takes work, but enjoyment is a byproduct of you get the fulfillment from service.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that was a very good, foundational information on marriage, right? So marriage is good. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but the rate of divorce is very high, right? Studies shows that more married people are wishing to be single now than ever before, right? So some people have gotten married and have missed their path, their destinies, their purpose in life. So if humans were perfect, then we'll do marriage the way God intended for marriage to be. And then marriage will be that beautiful institution where everyone is happy, happy-go-lucky and all that. But like you said, it's not just because two people, we have different mentality, different mindset. We've come from different family background, so we have to be working in partnership and cohesion. So my question to Yamaka is, how do you find that partner, that man, that person that you think would match your energy, would match your goals, your vision? Like, what is it about choosing a partner? How do you know the right partner for you?
How do you know? Okay. So first of all, I will come from this is a Christian channel. So I'm going to come with that like background. So as a Christian, right, the first thing I would say is you always want to pray and see God's face concerning it, right? I know our parents will say, oh, my mom, she will say, even before when you were young, I used to pray for your partner. Like, do you understand? Because that's such an integral,
very key
aspect of like somebody's life. It's one of those very crucial decisions that somebody has to make, right? So I think going to God and asking is important. Right. It says acknowledging him in all your ways and he will direct your path.
Okay.
Yes. And secondly, I would say like, how do you find somebody that you should marry? After you've asked God for guidance, you also want to be watchful, right, of that person. So like not just praying and just not doing anything about it. If you're friends with somebody, if you are dating somebody, you want to be watching their actions. Like things that stand out for me is like how does this person treat other people? Like, and especially people that are not in their category.
People they can't gain anything from.
That is very, very key for me, right? How do they treat their family? How do they treat other people? How do they react when things don't go well, right? For example, sometimes you might not see it because we might not be privy to all the situations in somebody else's life. But how do they react to
high pressure situations, when they have disappointments?
How do they communicate? Like things, just things that everyday life, right?
Everyday life. So let's say that person is nice to you. They're always fantastic, call you all the time, but they're not that way to other people. They're not that way to their family. They're not that way to their friends. But to you, you're special. They treat you right.
That's a red flag.
Is that a red flag?
Yeah, that's a red flag because it can change now. Yeah. Then maybe I'm doing something that the family, like maybe they are not doing or they're now doing. So why are they not treating their family well? Why are they not treating other people well? I can be that family one day.
Tomorrow, because marriage is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You're going to be married for a long time.
For a long time. So I need to know if you get tired, right? Yeah. So I need to know. So that's a red flag. Except there's a genuine reason why, which I can't really foresee right now.
But there should be room for forgiveness. There should be room for forgiveness.
Reconciliation. Anyway, but that's a red flag because you don't want to be that special person. Because then who's he going to listen to when things go wrong or you and him are having issues, right? You also want somebody that listens.
Yes, that's teachable, that has a teachable spirit.
And it goes both ways, like a man and a woman. You want somebody that listens, somebody that is teachable, that's somebody that understands you. Do you get? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So you said number 1, pray. Number 2, watch out for signs, like the way they treat other people. Number 3, look out for maybe red flags. And I think I want us to go deeper into those red flags because red flag. Red flag.
Red flag number 1.
Yeah.
Red flag, are they like hitting you, physically abusive? Like,
so during dating,
dating, like you just say something, just give you one small slap. You understand? Say and they apologize and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to slap you. My hand just missed.
You made me do it.
My hand just missed on your face, right?" Or they say hurtful words and it's like they're not so bad, they're not remorseful about it. Do you understand? Are they willing to apologize? Somebody said that marriage is about 2 forgiving partners because you will offend yourself, Taya. You understand? Are they willing to apologize and take accountability for their actions? That's also another one. When they make a mistake, how do they go about it? Right. Do they apologize? Do they take accountability? Do they own up to it? And are they willing to make amends? You understand? That's a big red flag. If they're not willing to, that is a big red flag. Because marriage offense bobos is every day you are getting offended. In short, every minute. Yeah.
What about someone who gives you silent treatment?
I think someone who gives you silent treatment it's not right. Because communication is paramount in marriage, right? If I don't, like you said, 2 people come from 2 different backgrounds, right? I'm not your brother, I'm not your sister. I don't know how you were raised. You understand? So if you come with, you need something and you're not trusting me enough to ask me for it and rather giving me silent treatment to like punish me, then I don't think you have my best interest at heart. I think that is wrong. And that should be worked on because that one, it could be how they were brought up. So I would not say it's like, is the person willing to change, right? Yeah. So like silent treatment could be because some people grew up in cultures where it's just easier to be silent and shut down rather than...
Do you know silent treatment is the worst form of abuse? I've experienced it and I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if someone I don't condone hitting, I don't condone any kind of violence, right? But if someone is overt with their dislike of you, like they physically show it, you know, okay, this is where I stand with this person. But when someone is just hot and cold, they are just silent. They are maybe today, they are happy today, tomorrow they're just like it just confuses your whole
confused.
Mindset. You're just like it's so unsettling.
You can't, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah, and I think it's a huge red flag. I think for people, it's a really huge red flag. You're dating someone, and if there's any disagreement or they just shut down. They just shut down and they're silent. It's a way of controlling you to make you do what they want you to do. Unless you give in and give in to their way, then they won't talk to you. That is a horrible.
Marriage is I'll use this English, the wrongest place to try that. Because with marriage, you are basically communicating about you need to communicate about everything. Yeah. Like there's no room for silent treatment because you need to know a healthy marriage. Yeah. You need to know what your partner needs. Like I said, if you go into it with service in mind, I'm here to serve my partner. I'm also here to have fun, right? But like I said, fun is a byproduct of a good marriage, right? If you're serving with somebody that has the same goal in mind. But the ultimate is like, I'm there to serve somebody. So if you go in with service in mind, you're not consumed with yourself and be like, oh, it's just about me. They need to cater to my own needs. And they need to figure out, I'm just going to keep quiet. And then they need to figure out why I'm not talking. You understand? It's all about you, which doesn't work for marriage. If you want to be single, then stay single, right? And then just stay in your bubble. Nobody will disturb you. But if you're going to be married, what marriage means is that you're giving somebody permission to share your space. That's what it means. You're giving somebody permission to share your space. So it's not all about you in whatever you're thinking. But if you are the person that says that, oh, I want to do things myself, I want to be that independent, but
then just
that's fine. Then just be single.
Don't go
there.
Don't go and destroy someone else's peace because you know, some people are married, but they are like single.
Yes, they'll be like, oh, I'm so independent. I grew up independent.
So you're saying in marriage, there's no independence in marriage. Is that what you're saying?
There's interdependence. There's healthy dependence.
Okay.
There's no independence in the sense of I need to do this my own way. I'm going out now and I'm not going to tell anybody. If something happened to you, who is your next of kin?
That's true.
You know, do you understand things like that? The first person they will call if something happens is your husband, is the spouse, right? You can't just be going places without telling people where you're going.
What about like before I go there, let's continue on this red flag area. So what other red flags should people look out for, or what are the qualities a good partner should have?
I think a good partner should listen.
So someone that doesn't listen is a red flag.
Someone that doesn't listen is a red flag. Doesn't listen to nobody is a red flag. Is a big red flag, because time will come that it's not every time you be in agreement with one another, like concerning maybe your kids, concerning where to put them in schools. There are crucial decisions that come up in marriage, right? It's not every time you be in agreement, but you need a partner that can listen and say, well, I don't really agree with this, but if it's working for you right now, we'll come to a compromise, you understand? Or somebody that can listen to somebody else. You know, there's some people that they don't even listen to anybody. Like, they can't listen to anybody. Like, no matter what you are saying, even they're just stuck in themselves.
Okay, just what they want to do, that's what they want to do.
And they are just always right. You understand? Right. So that is a big red flag. Can this person listen to me? You want somebody that can listen to you. Baby, when you're pregnant, you can't cook. And the person say, I'm hungry, I just came back from work. You say, sweetie, please, can we get food somewhere? You understand? Or can you help make something? You want someone that can listen. It's very important in marriage. Very, very important in marriage.
Someone that is not about someone that is humble.
Somebody that is humble. Empathetic. Somebody that is not self-seeking. Just put it that
someone
way.
That is kind
too. Yes, very, very kind. That looks out for you.
Okay, I was going to ask you, I wanted us to finish this area before I wanted to ask, so you talked about like marriage being an interdependent kind of relationship, right? So let's say you get a job or you get an opportunity that you think will work for you. If you look at it, your paycheck, your work environment, everything, 100%, right? But you know where your partner is, you know his mentality, his mindset concerning the kind of job you've gotten. What's your opinion on having sacrificing the opportunity you have, like the job, for instance, not taking it just because your partner is not comfortable with you having that job, even though that is all you want, like everything about the job satisfies you, but it doesn't meet him, right? It doesn't meet him in a selfish sense, even in a selfish sense, because maybe this job, you are going to be out of the house more.
Yes, okay.
You won't have time to cook his lunch or to make dinner when he comes back home, right? So if you look at it, really, it's about him, not, so how would you handle such a situation? Will you take the job, or would you look for a common ground? Or
I think it's communication and common ground. There are ways to go around this, right? So what are the concerns? Because I want to listen to, right? So what are the concerns? Is it that it's taking me out of the house more? Do you understand? Why? Is it because you want me to cook, right? There's some people that wake up 4 a.m. and can cook the food, right? Some people will sacrifice. I know. I did see it, and I was like,
to pound yam.
I'm sorry to say, and I'll say my own opinion here. Sorry, there's nothing wrong with waking up 4 a.m. to cook
for your husband.
Yes,
right?
He's not a man on the streets, right? Like, as in, I feel like people take things literally. To be honest, like things. things that don't like that are not important. We just carry it on our head. What is wrong in cooking for someone you love?
Yeah, you love.
You
That's
understand?
True.
Let's
but not at 4 a.m., girl. Not at 4 a.m. I'll do it at 6 a.m.
Did the person tell you that they're doing it every day? What if the person is in morning bed? Like, you don't know the situation of where that person is coming from. You don't know. So, like, let's be more accommodating and not take like things too literally. No, honestly, if you ask me that opinion, I'm like, the person that probably said that I'm not cooking for him is probably not married. There's nothing wrong, right? What if it's for him that's what of people that work night shifts? Yeah. What of people that do evening shifts? That's the time they can do whatever they need to do.
So I think maybe people that have issues with it is coming from the mindset that maybe that woman is obligated to her husband, like her husband is forcing. Yes,
but from what I heard, it's not the husband the woman says
she's doing it from a place of love, which is good. Yeah. But in that kind of scenario, most times women are like, it's coming from maybe a man wanting them to do it at this. My breakfast has to be ready at 5 a.m. And then so. But I understand,
I understand. The reason why I said someone you love, and if it works out for you, that timing works out for you. Why not? If you're a morning person, I'm a very morning person. Wake me up at 4 a.m. I'm good to go for the day. Wake me up at 5. I'm good to go. I can't even do anything. But once it gets to like evening, telling me to do something, I can't even hear what you're saying. I'll take off my bed. Do you understand? So I don't think there's any issue with that. But
So the job. So what will you do if
I think it's communication.
Okay.
What are the concerns? Is it something I can walk around? If it's something that we cannot walk around or I cannot like accommodate at all, meeting your needs and still be able to take that job, then I'll let it go.
You let it go?
I will let it go.
Wow. Marriage is a real sacrifice.
It is sacrifice.
It's a real sacrifice.
It's like saying, for my kids, for your kids, maybe at a particular phase when they're younger, you say, I want to stay home. I want to work from home. Or I don't want to like walk because I want to be home with them more. You're sacrificing, even though you really want to work, right? Because you want to be able to function. But you're saying for my kids, I want to be there more for them, right? So I'm going to maybe pass up this opportunity and just take something maybe lower paying that will afford me more time at home or make me work from home, even though it's not necessarily what I want, but I'm doing it for my kids.
So what if, sorry to go short, what if, right? The reason why.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about a healthy marriage. I'm talking of a toxic situation whereby the man, you know that because he just wants to put you under he's insecure.
Okay, then that
he feels that if you start working that job, you're meeting men, you have more exposure. Right, so
someone shouldn't marry that kind of person. That's why I say watch out. I'm gonna go back. Red flag number 5 or whatever number you are looking at. You have to find a man that is secure.
Right.
And when I mean a man that is secure, a man that is not intimidated by your progress.
Yes.
A man that is secure in his own self. That even if he's earning 20,000, he's not intimidated by your 50,000 naira that you're earning or your 100,000 naira that you're making. And there are men like that. A man that is willing to let you fly. Do you understand? Because that, and I talked about it in that, was it the marriage one where you I said men are like the leaders, right? In the home. They're the chief servants also. They're the ones gardening, the wife is like the reflection of her husband, basically. So if she looks good, she's like, the man is doing well.
Well done, Oga. You're taking care of your wife.
Do you understand? Right? So you need a man that is secure in himself. Right? That is not easily moved by your paycheck or whatever you're bringing or not bringing to the table, even though it's nice to bring things to the table. But I'm just saying that's a red flag. If somebody is getting uptight about what you're earning, about how you're progressing,
or your influence, even a man that is jealous about you being in communication with other men, right?
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big red flag as well.
You don't want a jealous, possessive husband. You'll be fighting every.
Exactly. You might want it's not even healthy, honest. I was going to say you might want a jealous boyfriend, but not a jealous husband, because
you can't.
You don't even want a jealous boyfriend.
You can't even talk to anybody now.
You can't talk to anyone. They are constantly monitoring your phone, everything.
Where did you go? Where did you come?
It's terrible.
You understand?
It's toxic. Okay. Yeah. So it's very important, for this marriage whole thing to work and be enjoyable is the person you're marrying. Okay. Yeah. So the other question I had, Amaka, was I know you said prayer. You started out by saying to know how to know to marry, you should pray. So what role does common faith have? Shared faith, shared values. You know, do you have to marry a Christian? Do you have to marry a Christian that goes to church, that is born again? You know, what part does that play?
Yeah, that's a very great question, and I like it because shared faith is very important. Shared values, right? The reason why I say so is that time will come that will test your values and will test like your faith. Your faith is what keeps you going in like difficult moments, right? So if you have somebody that does not share the same faith like you, it's going to be very, very difficult, especially in tough times, right? And when I talk about faith, I'm not talking about you were in the same church before and you now go to the same church where you necessarily believe the same doctrines. I'm talking about having a relationship with Christ, like personal relationship with Christ, because that's what will shoulder you from the storms of life, right? Because when you have the same faith, it just makes things a little bit easier. Because if you don't have the same faith, you can't really pray together, right? You want somebody that you can pray together. You want somebody that you can stand together in the gap and say, we're going through this thing. It's us against whatever thing we're going through. You are standing together. So I think faith is very, very important.
Key, having the same faith.
And
not just the same faith as they're both Christians, but like you go to church together.
And then you do things together. You pray together.
Okay.
And like somebody that is showing that he has Christ in him, basically. Like none of us is perfect. Me, I'm not perfect, right? Even as a Christian, I can't say I'm perfect, right? But at least there should be this striving towards perfection. Like we can see it and all that. And even when you make a mistake, right, you are willing to make amends and go back to God, right? So that's for me is very crucial.
Very crucial. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what about shared values? So you love, for instance, you a family person, you love your family, you communicate with your sisters, brothers, and this other person is not that way with their family. You know, it's not like they're fighting with their family members, but they're just not, the way they grew up, they're not that connected.
Close,
You know, so is that a concern?
Yeah, I would say like, what's the reason? Like, I like to dig deep a little bit more. I know this is like a theoretical question thing, but like, what's the reason why they're not close, right? Is it distance, or that's how they were brought up? They didn't live. There are different reasons why people are not close. Maybe they didn't grow up together in the same house. One was living in Lagos and that person was in the East. So there are many, because if you were not close when you were growing up, is it when you are 30-something, 40 that you will now be close? You just be friendly. As long as you're cordial, like you're friendly with your siblings and your family, because not every family is that tight, neat, and close. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and you don't, because I know some people, right, because of the way they grew up, not being close to their family, they also believe so much in that nuclear family structure where they're like, okay, now that we're married, no external family member can come live with us. It's just both of us against the world, you know?
Yeah.
So do you foresee that being,
that could be an issue. That could be an issue. Okay. And I think that's it's good you brought that up, because that could be an issue. And I think it's important to address that before marriage. Especially if the man is that kind of person and just his family, and you want your family over, is something to really address before marriage. Because I've seen that where it has caused a lot of issues, because there's some marriage that will say, we just want to be on our own. We don't want any third party interference.
We don't want mother-in-law,
father-in-law. And some people are so big on that. I want my parents to come and I want my parents to stay. So it's something to talk about. But in everything, there needs to be moderation, right? Because when God was doing marriage, he did between the man and the woman, right? So in-laws, and they're not... It's our culture that brings them in. Biblically, marriage is between the man and the woman, right? But our culture, because we come from a place and all that, respects, like, wants us to honor, like, the mother-in-laws and the father-in-law. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to be accommodating. So if that causes like a strain in your marriage, or it could be a barrier, it's something to worth discussing. Because at the end of the day, your marriage is the most important, right? You understand? Every other thing is just adding or taking away from it. So if a third party is going to be like a barrier, it needs to be addressed. If any third party, both friendship, in-laws, family, should be adding and making your marriage whole. If their role is not doing that to your marriage, it should be addressed,
reviewed.
It should be
So it's a communication, is a discussion that you have to have before marriage.
It's like one of those discussions that you should have before marriage. Like, because some people, like, I'll use another example, this thing of family house. Some men believe that you can stay in your family house. They'll marry you and then you stay in the family house for a while.
No, wait, what do you mean by that?
Family house, like, you know how my father's house with other brothers' wives will stay there for a while before you eventually move out and have a family.
So he'll marry you and then leave you in the house where he grew up with his siblings.
Yes.
And then you'll be living separately.
Not that all of you will stay there. All of you will
live in the same house. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, all of you will stay there. Yes.
That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. That's different, mindset. So it's a good conversation to have.
It's part of those conversations that you have with your children, how many children you want to have, how do you want us to treat our both families, not just my family, your family. When can they, do you understand?
Can they come around the house? Can they do
what would be the boundary with that? And where, what do we allow? What do we not allow? How do we go forward with that? Those are very crucial discussions.
Questions.
Yes. Okay. It can even go as far as like friendships too. Talking about friendships. Some people don't like mutual friends. Some people I've had
is that not a red flag when someone doesn't want you to have friends?
No, they don't like when I say mutual friends, they don't believe that. Some people like that both the husband and the wife will be friends with husband and wife.
Oh, some people is that a thing? I didn't know. I don't get husband though. That means single women.
Yes, and I've seen some women that will say, "Oh, I can't have a single friend, right? All my friends have to be married because I'm married, right?"
Please, I'm rolling my eye all the way to the back of my head.
No, there are things like that. Yeah. Or the husband might tell the wife, "I'm not comfortable because she's single, right? Yeah. I prefer if you are friends with a married person." Yeah, that's
a red flag.
So anyway, those are things to talk about. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. They're almost out of time, but I still want to talk about finances. So what role does finances have to play? Is it asking for too much, as a single woman who has a thing going for her, wanting a man who also is successful to an extent, right? Money is not everything we know, but money plays a role.
Yeah, money plays a role, but I always try to be cautious here because my own experience and just my small knowledge with God, I know that when God gives you something, He doesn't always give you He gives you in seed form, right? And I've heard statements like people say, "Oh, I can't marry this man if he doesn't have a car. I can't marry this man that does this." That is not what you should be looking out for. Possessions and they come and go. Money is I feel like it's not something that you should be looking out for in a man. It's good to have. Love is better when there's money.
Yeah.
When there's
love is better when there's money
because you can travel, go to Hawaii, be on the beach, sipping wine. But it is not the foundation, right? It shouldn't be something that you are saying, I can't marry this person if they don't have a car. I can't marry this person if they don't have a house or they don't stay in a certain location, right? But does it help, right? It does help. But I think we need to be, like I said, prayerful. And you two that you're looking for body, what are you bringing to the table?
Right,
yes.
Right.
Because before you two are looking for Mr. Right, let us check you and make sure you're Mrs. Right. You understand? Let us make sure that you two are bringing something. You have work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? You're looking for a man that is earning a particular salary. How much are you earning?
Right,
be the change you want to see.
Let's see. Like so I was going to ask you at the beginning though, so what's how does someone make themselves ready for marriage? What is the prep? How do you know when you're ready for marriage?
I would say, oh my God, if you can, read marriage books. Yeah, I read some, but I don't feel like I read it. Nothing else prepares you as marriage itself because I feel like marriage is school, but you can help yourself going for reading books,
marriage seminars,
and then you can go for most churches have pre-marriage counseling when you have somebody, and then I think praying, and then just, I think another one that I wasn't very good when I was
getting married,
when I was early in marriage, was in communication. And that's why I talk about it a lot. Like, harness your communication skills. Like, if you're somebody, you don't like to talk about things, you're just quiet, you bottle things up. Learn to communicate your needs. It will help you in marriage. Learn to know boundaries. Read books on boundaries. Read books on like healthy relationships. Knowing how to use your voice for good in marriage. Knowing how to so if you're a man, for example, it's nice to know how women think if you're a man, because it will help you to deal with women, right? And your wife. If you're a woman, it's nice to know how men think. You understand? Because you cannot operate with a man based as a woman will operate with another woman, because women, like we all know,
women
are emotional.
From Venus, men are from Mars.
Thank you. So men think logically. So knowing how they think helps. If you can read those books, it will help you. Harness your, refine your communication skills as much as you can. Know what you want. Figure things out by yourself to a certain extent. Enjoy your singlehood. Enjoy your singlehood. I wish I can pinpoint it again.
Okay.
And be whole. Enjoy it.
And be ready mentally, emotionally. If you need to go for therapy, go to therapy.
Yeah.
Work
and
out
enjoy yourself.
issues.
Enjoy your own company.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Enjoy your company. That's one thing you can do to prepare yourself for marriage. Go to new place so that when you are married, you can say to your spouse, have you tried this place? Yeah. We can go there together. Yeah. And you understand? Yeah. Explore for yourself. Yeah. Don't wait for marriage to happen before you enjoy yourself. You understand? Part of life is also play. You understand? Yeah. So that's what I would say.
That's good. Awesome. So final question. I know we're out of time. Is there an ideal age? For what ideal age would you recommend marriage?
When you are mentally, physically, emotionally,
so there's no age
and financially.
Okay, ready. I like that. That's a good question. That's a good answer. Age. There's no age limit.
No pressure. Don't let anybody pressure you.
But societally, though, in Africa, I mean,
we have age, right?
But
as an athlete, don't let anybody pressure you, right? You understand? Yeah. The worst thing is to be pressured and make a wrong decision, because only you will live.
And
I
mean, it's for physical reasons, right? Like women, your
biological clock.
Even for men these days, so I'm hearing. So, but I agree. That's a good answer. When you're emotionally, physically, mentally ready, that's a good time to marry. Thank you so much, Amaka. This was
good.
An enlightening episode.
Yeah.
Singles like me, at least we've gotten one or two things from now. you know what the red flags are, and you know what to look out for. For marriage. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
this was good. Did you want to say a quick prayer?
Yeah, we're just gonna pray. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for your word that has come. Thank you for as many as are listening to us, both single and married. Lord, we pray for those that are looking up to you for one thing or the other, for a spouse, for whatever they're looking up to you, Father. We pray that you meet them at the point of their needs. We also pray that, God, you will make them to be godly partners. You also provide to them godly partners, oh God. Father, help them, as many are struggling with past hurts or disappointment. Father, we pray that they will see that marriage is indeed a beautiful institution, and they will want it for themselves. They will want a healthy relationship, and Father, they will get what they want, because your word says that we shall have whatsoever we say. For in Jesus' name we've prayed.
Amen. Thank you so much, Amaka. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for sticking it out with us. Please don't forget to like,
subscribe, share,
and comment. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.